Some moments in football last forever.
Surely now Spain have won the World Cup!
In football, there are moments that rise above everything, above club loyalty, jersey colors, and even victory itself. Moments that silence an entire world, if only for a second. And no one embodied that quiet power more than Andrés Iniesta. One unforgettable night in Johannesburg, under the blinding lights of Soccer City, Iniesta emerged from the shadows, the calm magician who rarely sought the spotlight, to deliver Spain something they had never tasted before. World Cup glory. That night, he didn't just score a goal, he carved his name into the heart of a nation. This is the night Iniesta became Spain's eternal hero, going into the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Spain carried the heavy weight of expectation. Despite their incredible talent, they had never won the trophy. But this squad felt different. The players had just won Euro 2008 and came straight off. Barcelona's historic sextuple, the most dominant club side in recent memory. With Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets orchestrating their famous tiki-taka style of play, Spain were predicted to be unstoppable. But the campaign began with a shock. Spain lost their opening match 1-0 to Switzerland, failing to score a single goal. Pundits were quick to doubt them. How could a team with so much talent fall so flat? But La Rocha bounced back, scraping past Chile and Honduras to top their group. Then came narrow 1-0 wins over Portugal and Paraguay. Their attack wasn't blowing teams away like in 2008. The critics began circling again. Then came the semi-final against Germany, the tournament's most terrifying team, fresh off, hammering England and Argentina with 4 goals each. Many expected Spain to be outclassed. Instead, they played with quiet brilliance. They held firm, played smart, and center-back Carles PL rose to head home the winner, sending Spain to their first ever World Cup final. There, they faced the Netherlands, a nation equally desperate, equally talented, and also chasing their first star. Both teams had golden generations. Both had never lifted the trophy. What followed was one of the most physical, dramatic, and tension-filled finals in history. And in the 116th minute, when the world was holding its breath, Iniesta struck. A goal. A nation's dream. History made. No one knew exactly what to expect that night in Johannesburg, but what we got was a final that would go down in history, not just for the winner, but for the intensity, chaos, and raw passion on display. From the opening whistle, it was clear. Both Spain and the Netherlands wanted it with every fiber of their being. It wasn't a cautious affair. It wasn't a chess match. It was a war of nerves, heart, and fire. Despite being goalless for nearly 2 hours, the match had everything: crunching tackles, ditch saves, near misses, and a World Cup record 15 yellow cards, one of which easily could have been red. The tension wasn't just on the pitch, it crackled through the air like electricity. Just 5 minutes in, Spain set the tone. Xavi whipped in a dangerous free kick, met by a bullet header from Sergio Ramos, forcing an early save. K nearly capitalized on the rebound, but the Dutch defense held firm. Minutes later, Arjen Robben tried a long-range effort for the Netherlands, testing Iker Casillas, but the Spanish keeper stood strong. Ramos, relentless as ever from right back, charged forward again, firing a shot that was blocked by Heitinga and led to a corner. From that corner, David Villa sent the side netting, shaking with a thunderous volley, tricking thousands into thinking Spain had scored. Then the cards started flying. In the 15th minute, Robin van Persie earned the game's first yellow for a reckless challenge on Capdevila. Carles Puyol followed shortly after for a rough tackle on Robin. Then came the free kick. Wesley Sneijder fired from 25 yards, but Casillas handled it easily. But it was the 28th minute that sparked one of the most infamous moments in World Cup history. A flying kung fu kick from Nigel de Jong sent his studs directly into Xabi Alonso's chest. The entire stadium gasped. Referee Howard Webb, shockingly, only showed a yellow. That image, Alonso doubled over in pain. De Jong's boot lodged mid-air remains one of the most viral, brutal, and controversial images from any World Cup final. Still shared widely even over a decade later. Despite all this chaos, the game went on. The stakes were higher than ever. Every tackle, every pass, every save, they all carried the weight of a nation's hope. As Spain were building from the back, goalkeeper Iker Casillas came off his line to clear the danger, but collided hard with teammate. The impact left the warrior-like defender writhing in pain on the pitch. Naturally, Spain stopped play to get him medical attention. The ball was put out so he could receive treatment. When play resumed, the Netherlands attempted to return the ball to Spain out of respect. But what happened next nearly caused a scandal. Instead of passing it harmlessly back, the Dutch lobbed the ball forward, and it awkwardly bounced toward goal, forcing Casillas to desperately scramble and push it out for a corner. The moment sparked a mix of boos and confusion in the stadium. To their credit, the Netherlands then used the corner not to attack, but to officially give the ball back to Casillas, a gesture of restored fair play. Ironically, they then botched a beautifully designed set-piece routine from a later corner in the 37th minute, wasting what could have been their best chance yet. Moments later, Spain launched a counter. Pedro ran directly at the Dutch backline and unleashed a shot with his weaker foot, but it drifted wide. It was a warning shot. Spain was slowly heating up as first-half stoppage time ticked on. Arjen Robben found space just outside the box and fired a curling effort on target. But once again, Casillas was sharp and alert, diving low to save. The referee blew the whistle. Halftime, 0-0, and 45 minutes of brutal tactical warfare had failed to separate the sides. The second half resumed. And within minutes, Carles Puyol nearly repeated his semi-final heroics, flying in to meet a Xavi corner, but this time the header flashed wide. A few moments later, Joan Capdevila had a half chance in the box, but couldn't get a clean connection. In the 50th minute, Spain thought they had won a penalty after a contentious challenge in the Dutch box, but the referee waved play on. Tensions continued to rise. Players clashed. The atmosphere turned colder. Then, the game almost exploded. In the 62nd minute, Wesley Sneijder split the Spanish defense with a sublime through ball to Arjen Robben. For a moment, the world stood still. Robben, one of the fastest players on the planet, raced clear. Casillas froze, then surged forward. Robben shot low and hard, but somehow Casillas stuck out a foot and deflected the ball just wide. The stadium roared. Robben dropped to his knees, hands on his head. It should have been the moment. That could have been the goal that won the World Cup. In the 77th minute, David Villa had a close-range chance for Spain, but his effort was blocked, leading to another corner. From that corner, Sergio Ramos, completely unmarked in the box, rose above everyone but shockingly headed over the bar. The tension was unbearable. Then Robben had another chance. After shrugging off Puyol and breaking through again, he found himself one-on-one with Casillas for the second time. But Casillas had read it. He rushed off his line and smothered the ball before Robben could even shoot. Another massive moment, another chance gone. After that golden chance slipped away, Arjen Robben couldn't believe it. Frustrated and furious, he stormed over to referee Howard Webb, yelling straight into his ear. Robben believed he'd been fouled by Carles Puyol during that one-on-one, and felt the veteran defender should have been sent off. But Webb didn't see it that way. Instead of awarding a free kick or showing a red, he booked Robben for dissent. The moment captured Robben's boiling frustration and the Netherlands' growing sense that time the officials were against them. As the clock struck 90 minutes, the scoreboard still read 0-0, and so, like every true classic, the World Cup final headed into extra time. Up until this point, Andrés Iniesta's name had barely been mentioned. The quiet magician had operated in shadows, waiting patiently, with the world watching and nerves stretched to breaking point. It was finally time for him to take center stage. Within just 5 minutes of extra time, Iniesta slid a brilliant defense-splitting pass through to Cesc Fabregas, who had come on for Xabi Alonso late in regular time. Fabregas had only the keeper to beat, and in that moment he had the choice: square the ball or go for glory. He chose the latter. But Dutch keeper Martin Stekelenburg reacted quickly, diving low to make a crucial save. Then came a close call for Spain. from the resulting corner. Joris Matthijssen rose high for the Netherlands, meeting the ball with a powerful header, but couldn't keep it down. It sailed over the bar. A collective gasp from Dutch fans. Another chance gone. In the 101st minute, Jesus Navas fired a shot toward goal. It wasn't particularly dangerous until it deflected off Dutch captain Giovanni van Bronckhorst. The sudden change in direction completely wrong-footed the keeper, and for a moment, it looked like Spain had scored. But the ball hit the side netting. Relief washed over the Dutch bench. Then, just before the end of the first half of extra time, Fabregas danced through the orange wall, weaving his way into the box. But again, his shot lacked the killer instinct. Another chance missed. At halftime of extra time, it remained goalless. 15 minutes remained. The clock was ticking. Destiny was calling. And finally, in the second half of extra time, the moment arrived. Just minutes into the restart, Xavi threaded a delicate ball through the Dutch defense to Iniesta, who burst into the open space. He was clean through, and just as he was about to pull the trigger, Dutch defender John Heitinga pulled him back. It was a professional foul, clear as day. Webb had no choice. Second yellow, red card. Heitinga was off. The Netherlands were now down to 10 men, and Spain smelled blood. It made perfect sense when John Heitinga was finally shown red. His tactical foul on Andrés Iniesta had stopped what looked like a certain goal. For a moment, it even seemed like a worthy sacrifice. From the resulting free kick, Xavi stepped up but couldn't even hit the target. The Netherlands had survived. ... For now. Then in the 115th minute, the Dutch earned a free kick of their own way out, near midfield. But Wesley Sneijder, ever the believer, decided to shoot. It took a wicked deflection, and for a terrifying moment, the ball seemed destined to sneak in. But Iker Casillas, Spain's ever-reliable guardian, got a fingertip save to push it wide. It was nerves of steel by inches. And then came the 116th minute, the moment that would be etched into history. Fernando Torres, who had battled injuries all tournament, floated a high cross into the Dutch box. A defender rose to block it, but the ball fell kindly to Fabregas. With one touch, he threaded a perfect pass into the heart of chaos. And there stood Iniesta, like a ghost in the night. He took one perfect touch to settle the ball. Then, one thunderous strike. The net rippled. For a split second, the world stood still. And then, absolute eruption. Andrés Iniesta had done it. He had given Spain the goal of their dreams. One moment their entire footballing history had waited for. Overcome with emotion, he ripped off his shirt and raced to the corner flag. His teammates, coaches, even substitutes, came flooding onto the pitch, unable to hold back tears and joy. The nation had exploded in celebration. Cities shook, streets filled, and the name Iniesta was now carved into football's eternal wall. Of heroes, beneath his shirt, a message, Dani Jarque, siempre con nosotros. Dani Jarque, always with us. It was a tribute to his late friend and former Espanyol captain who had tragically passed away the year before. The booking he received for removing his shirt meant nothing. That goal, that moment, had transcended rules. It wasn't just the greatest goal in Spanish football history, it was a moment that united a divided nation. To show you how much it meant, 5 years later, Andrés Iniesta became the first Barcelona player to receive a standing ovation at the Santiago Bernabéu of their fiercest rivals, Real Madrid. That's the power of respect. That's the power of a single moment. Because when Iniesta scored in Johannesburg, it didn't matter what colors you wore. All that remained was awe and eternal gratitude. But while Iniesta brought a nation 2 tears of joy in 2010, over a decade later, another man would bring a nation to its knees.